Welcome everybody to Stay Tuned Sports. I don't know. It's kind of weird. No fun. We're having no fun today. As you notice, I didn't get the real long. Hey everybody, I didn't do anything like that. I didn't even set my camera right. Everything's like it's just a day. Deal with it. Welcome to Stay Tuned Sports. Now I'm gonna be. This is
Mr. Grumpy Pants.
I am a grumpy pants today. Welcome to Stay Tuned Sports. My name is King. That right over there is your good friend Jimbo. Thank you so much for joining us on this day where I'm just going to be, I'm going to be the grumpy one. I'm going to be grumpy man today. So that's just how we're doing. Thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, if you want to help us out here, please go ahead, hit that like button. Helps us out tremendously. Hit that share button again. That does help us out. That's very free to do. And if you're watching us and are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Helps us out again tremendously. 3 things you can do for free. That helps us. If you want to help us out a little bit more, we have links in the chat, which is open to come in, say hi, say hello. So how you doing? Come on into the chat. And in the description below this, we have the links there for our donation station where you can go ahead and donate whatever you want. Right now, the leader in the clubhouse since late last year has been Pecan. Wonderful Saints fan, great guy. He's donated $35. If you want to get your name into the ticker like his is, you can go ahead and donate more than that. But again, we take anything and everything. You donate a nickel, we'll love you forever. Thank you so very much. And of course, our merch store is there as well in the chat and in the description below. New stuff in there all the time: shirts, hoodies, mugs, banners. We got a whole bunch of stuff, more stuff coming. Of course, I always talk about the Stay Tuned Sports Coffee, the Denny Dimes blend. We got more on the way. So we got that for you there as well. Go check that all out there in the chat, in the description. Links there. Like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Plug this, plug that. Everything is plugged. Jimbo, we are getting closer to the schedule coming up. Now, for many people, many different games, many things like that, the schedule has come out already. We know most of the primetime games, they've been leaked, and now some of the teams' full schedules are being leaked. We've seen the Giants' full schedule. I've seen the Dolphins' full schedule. We've seen the Eagles' full schedule. Although the Eagles have so many fucking primetime games, we basically saw that anyway, because every other game, well, we're playing here. Oh, the Eagles are going to be playing here. Oh, guess what? The Eagles playing on Black Friday. The Eagles are going to play. The Eagles have so many goddamn primetime games. It's crazy. But we've seen all that stuff. And I do want to go over all that stuff. We will be looking into it. But we have a lot to talk about, not just the schedule. I also do want to touch on the NHL playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs that are going on. And listen, I think the NBA playoffs has been surprisingly good, and as anybody who's watched this show, who've watched us, know me and Jimbo, not the biggest NBA guys. Like I'm not. I'm not a big basketball guy. Other than March Madness, I love college ball stuff like that. But like not the biggest NBA guys. But for me, generally watching the NBA playoffs this year, I've been watching a lot of Knicks. Being here in the New York area, but NBA playoffs have been fun. They've been fun. Poor Jason Tatum and the Celtics, not doing great right now. But still, the Knicks up 3-1. That was a surprise. And listen, to all the Boston people out there, like fucking Dave Portnoy, and listen, I love Barstool. We love Frank from there, everything like that. He's a Knicks fan anyway. But Portnoy being a Celtics fan, going like, oh, this is now the Knicks are going to win. This is the reason the Knicks are winning because Tatum. The Knicks were up 3-1 with Tatum in the lineup, and not only that, but you guys were. The Boston fans were shitting on Tatum for these entire playoffs anyway. So I don't want to hear these guys all of a sudden start talking about, oh, well, now it's a tainted victory. Now it's all, the only reason the Knicks won is because Tatum got hurt. Tatum got hurt in the last 2 minutes when the Knicks were going to win that game anyway. And we're up 3-1. So let's pump the brakes on that, Celtics fans. I know it's hard, Boston. I know it's very hard for you guys up there, the Boston, New England people, to not be an asshole as a fan. I know it's hard. I know it's super hard. It's ingrained. You guys are you got to be wicked stupid and wicked hard. Everything's against us. Oh my God. It's wicked terrible. But just for once, don't be an asshole and look at things logically. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, great stuff like that. NHL playoffs, hockey playoffs going along. Capitals down 3-1 to the Hurricanes. I knew the Hurricanes were good. I thought the Capitals were going to be better, but Hurricanes are doing what they're doing. I saw what they played the Devils. So it makes me feel a little bit better knowing that, the Devils were bad, but it also was the fact that the Hurricanes are fairly good. That's good. Toronto, kind of, they went up 2-0. Now they're tied at 2-2. Are they having another collapse? Please, God, yes. Fuck the Maple Leafs. Yes. God, I hate the Maple Leafs so much. That would be so great to see. So we got, there's a lot of that stuff going on. Jimbo, I've been rambling here for a little bit. Let me shut the fuck up and say, how are you? What are your thoughts? What's going on? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm kind of hoping Toronto, it's another collapse because, I like Paul Bissonnette, but how he acts when Toronto wins games, I don't think me and you are that obnoxious. So I just want to see them lose just to shut him up.
Well, here's the thing. The Giants haven't won recently enough for anybody to really know how obnoxious I can be when the Giants are good. You know that. Our good friend Ashley, she knows that. There's a lot of people who know. Like when the Giants were winning a Super Bowl and they were good, they were winning divisions and stuff like that. Holy shit. Was I an obnoxious son of a bitch? All right? Yeah. I can fully admit that. I understand where I'm coming from with that. But he also, in that vein, also when Toronto is doing what they're doing now, when he starts going after the guys, and he starts, in his last podcast, he called out Mitch Marner.
Yeah.
Because the guy fucking sucks. And he and his dad have been a real problem. If anybody knows or has followed that stuff for the last couple of years, Mitch Marner's kind of been a dick, and his father's been one too, and they've kind of held the Leafs hostage a couple times and saying well, we want a new contract and we want to do this. He's worth this. Well, if you don't want this, then trade him and trade me and do a da 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 da. So he's kind of been an asshole, and listen. As with anything, as I've always said, if you can back up what you're talking about, if you can be an asshole, but talk the bullshit to talent ratio. If you talk shit and do all that kind of shit, you better be able to back it up. But once that shit starts going out of balance, once you start talking shit and then you don't back it up, well, now in my mind that's open season. And Biz is taking a couple of great shots at him, and rightfully so. It's not like he's taking unwarranted shots.
Yeah.
At good old Mitch Marner there. So looking at it from that standpoint, I get it, and I just love Biz. I've loved him since he played with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins when I used to have season tickets up there, and watch him all the time. He was a great fighter. That's about all you can really say about it. Was he the skill guy? Not really, but
I start to know of him from watching Pat McAfee's show and watching Flyers games. So I didn't really know him.
You didn't know him when he was playing, right? Because you didn't meet me until I think he was already in Arizona by that time, and he might have been even retired by that point. I think he retired maybe a year or two after we started hanging out.
Yeah. But then last year when he decided, I'm gonna take these 5 Irish guys on, and
that was cool.
He won that fight.
Oh yeah,
just because they didn't do anything to him.
I shook that man's hand once. I shook his hand once. Yes. At the Arena Bar and Grill in Wilkes-Barre. Okay. That's where a lot of the players used to go after the games, and I met him there once after a playoff game. Me and my ex-wife had gone there, and shook his hand. Fucking granite mitts, dude.
Really?
Him and Dennis Bonvie, who in Wilkes-Barre area is a fucking legend in there with the Penguins. But again, both of the fucking granite hands. I would not want to get punched by either Dennis Bonvie or by Paul Bissonnette.
He's not a big guy though, right? He's not tall.
No. He's not like fucking super jet. He's not like that kind of guy. But he's fit. He's well, and just giant mitts, and they're fucking granite, dude. Just his hands are muscle.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I mean when you shook his hand. And I have giant fucking hands. Now, granted, they're a little. I got dainty fingers. I got the piano fingers, so I get it. But I've shaken a million people's hands, and people who were strong guys, I've shaken their hands. But when you shake the hand of somebody who's a hockey fighter, like not even like a hockey, like because you have hockey players and then you have hockey fighters.
Yeah.
I don't want to go as far as to call him a goon. He might call himself a goon. I don't know. But fucking yeah, I would not want to get punched in the face by that guy. Just wouldn't want to do it. So yeah, those five drunken idiots, they thought we're gonna be able to get him, and nah, it's almost on the level of when you start a fight with somebody and you don't realize that they're into either like mixed martial arts or jujitsu or something like that, and it's like, well, you know what? Good luck. But yeah, so there's again NHL playoffs. I keep on calling NHL playoffs. They are the Stanley Cup playoffs. Stanley Cup. It's about the Stanley Cup, baby. And so those are still going off. And real interesting with what's going on there. And the Oilers, I believe, are up 3-1 on the Knights, or that's 2-2. I can't remember. I think it's 3-1.
Yeah, it's 3-1.
That's 3-1, and Dallas is 3-1 up on Winnipeg. So, because Dallas won last night. So, lots of stuff going on with the NHL and the NBA. And of course, the big thing, and we're a football show. We are. I mean, let's just we touched on some of the other stuff. I do want to get into the NFL, and then we're going to touch on one other thing before we get the fuck out of here. And on that one, I'm going to let you go. That one, I'm going to. You guys want to see Jimbo go off? It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun one. So stay tuned. Definitely. Get it? Stay tuned. Look at that. Like, share, and subscribe. But when it comes to the to the big news, the big story of the day, the NFL schedule releasing. It's going to officially release at 8 p.m. tonight. Ooh. Oh my God. The mystery of it all is, well, it's not really a fucking mystery because we've already got most of this stuff here. And there's a lot of leaks. So let's just touch on a couple of the things here. Now, we know who's playing on Christmas. That was actually released by Netflix and Amazon. We got the Cowboys and the Redskins. They're going to be the 1 o'clock game on Christmas Day. Then it's going to be the Lions and Vikings at 4:30. And the night game on Amazon is going to be the Broncos and Chiefs. So all three are divisional matchups there on Christmas. And what else is there? I know we've had a couple other things. I know we have the... one of the Thanksgiving ones, it was the Dallas and who is it? The Chiefs, Dallas and Chiefs are going to be the 4 o'clock Thanksgiving game. What was that? You said it was weird?
Yeah, like a weird matchup. Like, you're used to seeing the Cowboys Lions or Bears Lions, and
well, again, I don't know if the Lions one was leaked yet as far as who they're playing on Thanksgiving, but it usually what it usually used to do was alternate between AFC teams and NFC teams between the Lions and Cowboys. Okay. So like one year it would be the Lions versus an NFC team, whether that would be the Bears or the Redskins or whatever, and then the Cowboys would then play an AFC team that year, and then the next year the Lions would play an AFC team like the Colts or some shit like that, and then the Cowboys would play an NFC team, and that's how it used to go back and forth. I don't know if they still do that. I think it's a general thing where they kind of go back and forth because that's it. Last year the Cowboys played the Giants. What a fucking snooze fest that was. And who did the Lions play last year? Was it the Bills? I think it might have been the Bills. So yeah, I think that's. I can't remember. I think it was the Bills. And so that's along the same lines, though. That's kind of the same thing where, yeah, you're still doing that. And then now you have the night game and everything like that. I don't know who the night game is, but we have we have all that. The week one full prime time schedule we have. Now the season's going to kick off with the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. Because the Eagles are Super Bowl champions, and we're gonna win the Super Bowl champions.
That sounds so nice.
So that's where you guys are going to start off. I had to put a question in here in a poll. Nobody's in the chat yet, so we'll see if somebody decides to answer it or not. But I did put a question in the chat of, did you think that it should have been the Cowboys playing the Eagles on that opening night, or should somebody else have been playing the Eagles from who the Eagles had available to play? Because the question is, like, Dallas didn't have a good year last year. In a lot of respects, outside of Pickens, they really didn't do anything, I think, in most people's minds to get better. A lot of people think their coaching situation, it was a lateral move at best, if not a downgrade. Would there be a better matchup on that opening night? Or from that perspective, is it like, hey, you get the Eagles an easy win on opening day and kind of help celebrate, winning the Super Bowl against a team that many consider to be your biggest rival?
When I first saw it, I was kind of hoping, and it would have worked out because they were already one of the teams we were going to have to play anyways. But have a Super Bowl rematch, Chiefs versus the Eagles.
That's what I was kind of thinking. Like, I thought that would have been a pretty neat way to open the season, was the way it ended last year, and see if you can do something like that. I understand because that's the thing is, the next week is when the Eagles are playing the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But they're playing at the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So I think that's why, because it was a road game. So I don't think it could have been the Chiefs.
The only story so far for this Eagles Dallas game and for the next, few seasons, Dallas's offensive lineman that they drafted in the first round saying he couldn't wait to play against Jalen Carter, make him cry like a bitch. That's the only story
That's a good way to go into it, though. Hey, listen,
Yeah.
but see, that's the thing, is now you've set yourself up for, like, you have now, as I mentioned before with some other things, you've said it.
Yeah.
Now you got to back it up. Like I said with Mitch Marner, if you say things, now you got to back it up. So if you're gonna say that, you're gonna say, man, I'm gonna make that guy, I'm gonna make that guy my bitch, and he's gonna cry. Like, I mean, that's okay.
Yeah.
If you can do it, hey, go nuts. Then you're gonna then it's gonna be like that. But pump the brakes for a while. That's what I mean. It's that I almost feel like is he got a little too excited being drafted and doing all that kind of stuff and decided to go ahead and say that.
Yeah.
That's when you have to have somebody with you and just be like, take a breath before you do the interviews. You're a little too jacked.
And especially right after that was said, the stat came out that the Dallas offensive line, I forget the kid's name, only gave up 3 sacks in his college career. Guess who was the 3 sacks up against?
Georgia.
Jalen Carter.
Was against Georgia. Yep. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But again, he had to be like a freshman then.
Yeah, I mean, he was young, still learning,
when that happened. So that's what I mean. So let's see. He's going to come back and he'll be like, I grown. Look at me now. I'm ready to take it. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And if he starts for the Cowboys, which he might. And again, the Cowboys have historically had pretty decent offensive lines. And they've had great offensive lines coming up here in the past. Hamster in the chat. What is up, Hamster? Great to see you. He says 78 days until the Hall of Fame game. He's keeping us abreast of how long it is. And now, like I said, here we are. We're getting some of the schedule coming out here.
Hamster's got 2 schedules to look at.
We got, like I said, I've seen some of the other leaks. We saw the Eagles leak. I saw the Giants leak. Let's look at the Eagles schedule here, because we kind of already know a lot of it, because you guys got a fuck ton of goddamn primetime games, which you'd expect for the defending Super Bowl champions, for a team that still on paper looks fucking great, as much as I hate to say it. And they're definitely going to be a hard team to beat and deal with. But we have here the Eagles schedule, as we just talked about. Week 1, Cowboys opening up the season. Week 2, at the Kansas City Chiefs for a Super Bowl rematch. Week 3, home against the Rams. That's not an easy game. The Rams, I think, are a very good team. Now they're going to be without Cooper Kupp, but I think they're a good team still. Then you have at the Buccaneers. That's your bugaboo team.
Yeah.
So you have a chance here where you, hopefully,
For your sake.
the Eagles have a chance to start like 1-3 here. As a worst case scenario, the Eagles have a chance to go 1-3 to start the season, which would be fun.
Well,
Boy,
yeah,
would that be fun.
That's kind of how we felt. Like, the record didn't show, but how we felt like
A little bit last year, right? I was going to say, because you had that bye in week 5.
Yeah.
Then that kind of helped reset everything. Sirianni shaved his head. He replanted the manure. Next thing you know, you guys went off on a run. But now looking at this here, like I said, you got there's no bye in week 5. You guys got the sweet spot bye. You got it right in the middle of your schedule this year. But then you have the Broncos, which, again, they have a fantastic defense. And now we're going into Bo Nix's second year. They've built a little bit around Bo Nix here. Are the Broncos going to be a hard team to maybe get a win against? I don't know here. I think the Eagles are good enough to go ahead and do that. Then you play at the Giants on a Thursday night game. So you play the Broncos and then a short week against the Giants. If there's ever a chance that the Giants can get like a sneaky trapdoor win, it would be at MetLife on a short week against you guys after you guys played the Broncos. So that will be interesting to see how that, because for that one, we'll be coming off a game against the Saints, which, sorry, Pecan, but the Saints don't look that great this year. The Saints are looking, I understand new coach, Kellen Moore, I'm sure all that kind of stuff, but boy, the Saints don't look like, ugh. I don't know what else how to say it about the Saints,
All I'll say about the Saints is after week 1 of preseason, the Saints will have a new quarterback after trading for him. And I'll be upset, but I'll be happy for him. Tanner McKee, how they have not traded for him yet, I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe the Eagles do not want to let him go. I don't know.
Possibly.
Like you said, I don't know about that. So then after the Giants, you are at the Vikings in week 7. Another great defense. We're going to see, by that time, we'll know how J.J. McCarthy is and how you go. But that one should be a good game. Then you play the Giants again in week 8. So you got the Giants twice in 3 weeks. We're going to know very early on this year who wins the King James belt.
Yes.
Then you have your bye in week 9. Then it's Monday night at the Packers, the tush push game.
Yeah, I'm not really too excited for that game.
That's gonna ELS gonna be pissed at you. Hamster says also 101 games until regular college games. Yes, I'm excited for college football too. See how Notre Dame does this year. Hopefully get back into the playoffs. Apparently this is going to be the last year of 12-team playoffs. They're going to be going to 14, if not 16. Apparently that's still up in the air whether they go to 14 or 16. But this is going to be the last year of the 12-team playoffs. So we will see how that goes. So you got the Packers there. I think that one should be fun. Eagles-Packers is always fun. Then you play the Lions. You get them at home. So there's that. Then at Dallas. Then against the Bears for Black Friday. We'll see how improved they are by that time, week 13.
That game I'm excited for.
The Bears game?
I think it's going to be a fun game.
That should be right.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'll see how improved Caleb is, how that offense is, how that defense is working. The Bears seemed to get a little bit of momentum at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Last year. Is that so? Can you carry momentum from the end of one year to the other with all the turnover and all the change that teams do? I don't know. They got a new coach. You have Ben Johnson. You have we'll see, but we'll see by that time. By week 13, we'll know what the Bears are.
Yeah.
Then you play at the Chargers again. That's another Monday night game. Then against the Raiders. Again, I think the Raiders will be improved from what they were last year. They have Pete Carroll. They have Geno Smith. They have Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
And they have Max Crosby. Outside of that, I mean, the Raiders are what they are. So we got to do that, the Raiders. Then you have your second kind of like divisional sandwich here. Week 16, you're at the Redskins. Week 17, at the Bills. And that's a Sunday night game. That's going to be hard. And then you end the season against the Redskins at Lincoln Financial Field. So looking at this schedule, this is a tough fucking schedule for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a real tough schedule.
I think I saw a couple days ago that we have the fourth hardest. Giants have the
first.
hardest.
We are number one in the hardest.
First. Okay,
Giants we are hard, baby. Gay porn hard.
You guys suck. Here's the hardest schedule.
We have the hardest schedule in the, go figure, the team that is like fucking horrendous. We're the worst.
But like two things about the schedule. First off, I guess we'll be watching a lot of Giants games on Sunday.
1 o'clock.
And Philly's got what? 1, 2, 3, 4.
The Eagles,
7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 primetime games, and that's without there being any flexing either. So you might have a couple flexed in as well.
Yeah.
Like, who knows? Like, all of a sudden, let's say, I guarantee you probably one of the Redskins games is going to be flexed.
Yeah.
Into that spot. Maybe the one, depending on how the season goes, if it's like neck and neck with the Eagles and Redskins at the end of the year for the division, that last game is definitely going to be the Sunday night game.
Yeah.
I would feel like, and if not, probably the week before. But I think there's a couple of games, depending on how some of these other teams do, that you might get. But that's the other thing, too, because when you look at it, like, when you get to the part of the season where you can flex, you guys already have so many of these fucking games. Like, maybe, do they flex the other Cowboys game to Sunday Night Football in Week 12? That could be.
Possibly.
You know what I mean? So it's there's a case here where you guys have almost half your schedule in prime time.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The only other point I want to make about the schedule too is that run after the bye has to be one of the hardest runs we got to go through. I mean, okay, I just joked about I'm not really too excited about the Packers game, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, Packers are a good team. Lions are a good team. Cowboys potentially could be a good team. Chargers are a tough team. Like, I'm worried about that game. Like,
that Chargers game is going to be. That's what I mean. There's a lot of tough games on this game.
Yeah.
Like the Eagles, legitimately, it is the fourth hardest schedule. Looking at it from now. Now again, as the season goes on, there's teams that we think are going to be good that may suck. Teams that we think that are stuck that are going to be good. We don't know. But looking at it as it stands right now on May 14th, 2025, that looks like a pretty hard fucking schedule.
Yeah. So it'll be exciting to see how we do.
Because that's what I mean. I think both you and I believe that the Bears will be an improved team.
Yeah.
I think that the Broncos, listen, they were a playoff team last year. And I think they're a good team. And I think they only got better this year. And now you have a second year with Knicks under Peyton. Their defense is their secondary is maybe the best secondary in the NFL, the Denver Broncos. So you have that. I think the Rams, they are not a pushover. They almost beat the Eagles last year in the playoffs. Probably should have, if they could hold on to the fucking ball in the snow. I think that would. But the Rams almost won that playoff game.
Yeah.
They really did. So, I mean, that's not an easy game. And you look at it, you're at the Chiefs, at the Buccaneers, which is always your fucking game, man. Baker always loves showing up against the Eagles, baby. Minnesota, tough game. Good team. We'll see how the offense is. The defense we know is good. Packers, tough game, primetime. Lions, tough game. Cowboys, divisional game, and we'll see how they are with the pieces they have, if it'll be a tough game or not. By that time, we'll see. But yeah, I think the Raiders are improved. Are they going to
Yeah.
be are they on that level? No, I don't think so yet. But they're improved from what they were last year. This is not. I don't think that's going to be as easy as a game as it would have been last year to play the
Yeah.
Raiders. The Bills. Oh, I mean, come on. And then, of course, you get all the divisional games, like we talked about, the Redskins and the Giants and all that kind of stuff. So, like, the easiest game, looking at it from this end, probably might be the Giants.
Yeah.
But even there, I think the Giants have improved enough to where we're not the team that we were last year. I gotta say, worst comes to worst, we still have Russell Wilson. I love the fact that we got Cam Scatterbo as a running back. Does it help replace Saquon? No, but I still love that kid. I think he's good.
Yeah.
And if we're hearing things about Jackson Dart coming out that we are, do I think he's going to start this season? I don't think so, and I don't know if I'd want him to. But so far, hearing a lot of great stuff coming out about the kid, not just from the mini camps, not just from the OTAs, but from the apparently like the pre-draft screening and scores and shit like that. The only person that he got 100 on the what was it, the SRS or STS thing or whatever the fuck it was, and that alone he got 100 on, and the only other person to get 100 on that was Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
So he's got there's a lot of positive already with the kid, and then if he kind of builds on that and learns, we'll see. And the Giants' defense was legitimately their one shining spot last year. There's the one thing you go and say, well, at least the defense is trying. Not every game. And there were times where, they didn't look fantastic, especially the secondary, but it was like, they're all right. And I think the Giants defense has gotten better, especially with having Abdul Carter there, which I think having him on one side is going to absolutely help Kayvon Thibodeau, even though I still think Thibodeau's a bust. Having Abdul Carter doing what he's going to do on one side can only help open up Thibodeau on that side. Plus, you still got Dexter Lawrence in the middle, coming off an injury. Hopefully, he's got something big and bad to prove there. So I'm excited for that. But so even looking at this, the easiest game I think for the Eagles might be the Giants games, and even there, I think the Giants have improved enough to where they're not going to be absolute cakewalks.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Speaking of which, why don't we take a look at the New York Giants schedule, since that apparently got leaked as well. This may come as a surprise. Not as many primetime games.
they heard the fans.
The fact that there's 3 is weird. I didn't think we'd have 1, let alone 2 or 3. But we have 3 primetime games. So
and 2 of the 3 could be potentially like blowouts.
Potentially, yes. And the other one might get flexed out.
Yeah.
Because I think Monday Night Football can flex their games now, some of them. So
I think by the time the New England game got put together, they must have been 2:00 in the morning, drunk off a Jaeger or something. Just throw a dart at the
I'm
board.
wondering if the thought is, the Giants made moves, they improved somewhat roster wise, and on paper, the Giants look like they've improved a little bit. The Patriots, they have a young upcoming quarterback. I'm wondering if maybe Monday Night Football hedged their bets and wondering if Jackson Dart's going to start by that game. And so then you'd have Drake May versus Jackson Dart, like 2 young quarterbacks leading young teams or some shit like that. Like, I don't know. But we'll get that. That's week 13. We got times to go for there. But here's the Giants schedule. Week 1 at the Redskins. Fuck. That's going to be tough. What a way to start. You're going to start off against a team that went to the NFC Championship game last year and seems to be improved.
Destroyed. They got destroyed.
They did get destroyed in the championship
positive
game, but they also did beat the Eagles once last year.
We let them.
Week 2 at the Cowboys. That's not nearly as much as a fuck, but it's I don't that's. We'll see how we're going there. That's always a fun one.
Yeah.
Week 3. Giants get a Sunday night football game in week 3 against the Chiefs. Fuck.
Yeah, we got a primetime game. Who are we playing? Kansas City Chiefs.
Well,
Goes
we'll
back to
see
some
because
bushes.
we'll see. We'll see if this is the year of the demise. It's the year
True.
of the
Yeah, that's very
demise
true.
of the Kansas City Chiefs. Is this where they start? Like, because listen, if you lose to the Giants on Sunday Night Football, might be a problem. You know.
If this is the demise, it's all Taylor's fault.
Well, she's not going to be at the game because as Pepper Jack brings up, she doesn't go to the away games anymore. So
I thought she supports her boyfriend.
she does,
Or
but not apparently.
or husband.
Her going to the away games is too much of a distraction. She doesn't want to be a distraction. She doesn't want to walk and be a distraction. And I think there was that, and I think it was also she's not comfortable with the opposing team security or some shit like that. And it's like,
Oh, come on.
or because the fact that they show her on the scoreboard and then everybody boos and stuff and does all that kind of shit. So it's like, you know, I get it. I get it from that standpoint.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's not, so she won't be there. Which is unfortunate because I would definitely go to that game and just have my binoculars just staring up
I would too.
staring
I'd be
right
one of
into
those-
her box. I mean, the luxury box.
I'd be one of the 30 booing her,
One of the 30, only 30 people would be booing her
and we're gonna sound like
in the whole
Metallica
state,
at the Vir-
in the
at the
whole
Virginia
stadium,
Tech
in
Stadium.
the whole stadium of MetLife Stadium. You think only 30 people would boo Taylor Swift?
Yes, because you all are weird.
You, you worry me sometimes, Jimbo. Sometimes you really do worry me. Okay, so then after the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football, who do the Giants have? The Chargers. Ah! Nathaniel, great to see you, buddy, here in the chat. Don't worry about being late. Again, you can always go back and watch this later on as well to see anything else that you missed. Dealing with a headache all day. Boy, listen to me, it's not going to help. That is not going to help you. I am a loud, obnoxious fuck. So we go. So the Giants' first 4 games. Redskins, Cowboys, Chiefs, Chargers.
3-1.
I'm optimistic. Optimistically, I think that's 2-2.
I could, in all seriousness, I could agree 2-2.
And that is being the most highly optimistic. If you want me to be kind of realistic right now, seeing the Giants, seeing who we are, knowing this team, knowing our coach, just kind of how it feels, boy, it feels like that could easily be 1-3, if not 0-4.
Yeah.
It really does. The Cowboys game might be a win.
Yeah.
Might be. And that's might be. Then week 5 is the Saints. God, if we lose against the fucking Saints.
This is the Dable Shane game.
That is the if the Giants lose that game. Like if the Giants lose that game, if the Giants are at that point 1-4, I'm just saying. It's gonna get
the extensions.
You want to talk about hot seats? That shit's gonna be sizzling. It's gonna be sizzling. You're gonna hear it like bacon. It's gonna be popping. Because then it's the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. Oh, that's okay. That's all right. Because after the Eagles, we have to travel all the way out to Denver to play the Broncos. And that defense.
At least it's a 4:00 game.
Then we have to travel all the way back across the country and play the fucking Eagles again. So what are we are possibly by week 8 looking at 1-7. And what did I say? I said if the Giants were 1-7 going into week 8, week 9, it's going to be tough times for Dable and Shane to stay.
Yeah.
The Giants are staring down 1-7 with this schedule, perhaps 0-8.
Yeah.
It does not look great. That's okay, because then we have the 49ers coming into town. And As we know with the 49ers, they have great year, injury year. Great year, injury year. Last year was an injury year. This year, we're going to get fucking smoked at home. You just know it.
I got this as a win. They lost a lot of players.
I go with trends. I go with what I see. And I think, I don't know. So, okay. Optimistically, 2-7 by week 9.
Okay.
Week 10 at the Bears. That's an iffy one.
I was going to say, that's a 50-50.
That's a 50-50 game. Week 11, Packers. That's a loss. Week 12, at the Lions. That's a loss. Week 13, Monday Night Football against the Patriots. That's a toss-up game. We can win that game. Week 14, bye. That's when everybody's losing their fucking job. Goodbye, everybody. See you later. Week 15, Redskins. That'll be fun. Week 16, the Vikings and that wonderful defense that's going to destroy us. Yay! Week 17, at the Raiders. Should hopefully be able to win that game. Maybe, depending. We'll see what happens. And then week 18, Cowboys. So right now, optimistically, if I think if everything that we said, let's say all the games that we called 50-50 games go the Giants' way.
Okay.
We'll look at it that way. The Giants are looking at having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 wins. And that's if everything goes our way. I don't know. Jimbo, your thoughts?
Well, just by saying that, 6 wins, which consist of 50-50 games that we have, it's an improvement. Last year, last year's team, you guys probably would have been 0-17. Probably would have lost every single one of these games if this was your schedule for last year.
Boy, I'll tell you what. That is certainly the number one hardest schedule in the NFL. They didn't lie. They did not fucking lie about that.
I don't know. I mean, it is a hard schedule. It's definitely a top 5 hard schedule. I think Philly has a harder schedule.
Not according to the strength of schedule, they don't.
Yeah, well, New Orleans had Carr play for half a season. Minnesota had Sam Darnold, maybe JJ Hardy. What the fuck am I talking about? JJ McCarthy doesn't play as well.
Again, we're talking about a lot of ifs here, but like I said, with the Vikings, the win's not going to come so much, I think, even from their offense, because they still have JJ. You still have Justin Jefferson. You still have Addison. You still have Aaron Jones in the backfield. So, worst comes to worst, they can just run the ball down, down our throats. And as good as the Giants' defense is, too, if the offense can't stay on the field for the Giants, that's going to be a problem. Now, again, if things change for the Giants this year, if we're able to go ahead and do better, but again, this is the thing here. We have to see it on the field.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it. Now, how this team plays having Russell Wilson, how this team plays with Scatterboo in the backfield along with Tyrone Tracy, which I like. I like that too. That I like our backfield pair with Tyrone Tracy and Scatterboo. How our defense plays. Again, we have to see it first. But going based on what I've seen from the Giants, what I've seen from Brian Daboll, and the people that we have there already, boy, this is not going to be great.
No.
Like I said, those first 4 weeks could just by week 4 you might see me being like, I'm just not watching football again. I'm just not going to watch football. I'm just not going to watch it. You enjoy it. I'll watch other games. I'm not watching the Giants on this fucking channel anymore. I'm not doing it. You'll probably see that. Now, to flip that, if the Giants somehow come out of the first 4 weeks 4-0, holy shit, we're going to the Super Bowl. Ain't nobody stopping us this year, buddy. Woo! You're going to see the obnoxious king come back the fuck out. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. Let's be honest. But boy, if that does, if something miraculous like that fucking happens, holy shit. Even if we just beat the Chiefs and are like 1-2 by that point. If we beat the Chiefs, I'll be like, yeah, everybody's gonna be like, oh, it's a weaker Chiefs team. I don't give a shit. Fuck off. I don't care. I'll take it. But yeah, boy, that is a murderous row of a schedule. That is a murderous schedule.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, there's a better than good chance that Dable and Shane are gone by week 10. Looking at this schedule, there's a better than good chance that they're gone.
I would even say like if you're 1-4 and you lose to the Saints.
If we lose to the Saints and go 1-5, then it might be even that. It might be even sooner.
Yeah.
But because 1-4 with that opening 4, it'll get loud, but you will still have some people saying like, give this team a second, let them gel a little bit. Let's try to go. I mean, it's a rough start, a lot of things like that, like that. Then if you go down to the Saints and lose to Shuck and the Saints, like I said, that's sizzling, baby. It's gonna be sizzling. It's gonna be so hot.
Let me ask you this: what if only one of them gets fired? What if like Dable gets fired, but they keep Shane for another year, or vice versa?
You can't. It's, to me, it's a package deal at this point because it's just Shane. Now listen, I will give credit where credit is due. The Giants draft this year was good.
Yeah.
Which, knowing, Shane has not had great drafts in the past. He had Malik Neighbors fall into his lap. Granted, he had Abdul Carter fall into his lap too, but we were all worried he was going to fuck that up. He didn't, thank God. But also, the trade up to get Jackson Dart, I thought was a good move. Because we didn't really give up anything. And we got this kid who not just Dable, but a lot of people loved. And that star score that he got kind of shows that. Scatterbo in the 4th round, great pickup, I thought. Real sneaky, great pick. So I will give credit where credit is due. But that doesn't erase all the other fucking shit in the past. That doesn't erase the Daniel Jones not doing the 5th-year rookie option, causing the problem with Saquon. Then you have to sign Daniel Jones, and then that whole thing fucks up, and then you lose Saquon, and you let him hit the market, and he goes to your fucking biggest rival. They win a Super Bowl. He breaks the fucking rushing record. He had the most yardage that he's ever had in MetLife Stadium in his first game back with the Eagles, because just all of that. When you take all that into consideration, it's like, I'm sorry. Some people might say it's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You got to get rid of both. I'm sorry. Yeah. Bye-bye, baby. Bye-bye, bathwater. I'm sorry. It's a very late-term abortion, but it is. You got to get rid of them. So I think at that point you'd have to look at it, and it's a package deal. Daboll and Shane gone, and then you just kind of trying to have to start over. Knowing Mara, I don't think Mara would do it that early in the season.
Yeah.
He said short leash, but Mara just doesn't do that. So to me, it would feel more like a bye week situation. Like if the Giants have 2 or 3 wins by week 14 by the bye week, then it's late enough in the season. You're going to have people calling for the heads anyway. It's going to be there. The season's this, because here's the thing. What if you change the coach in week 5? What did they do for the Jets last year? The Jets did the same thing. They fired the coach in week 5, and what did they do?
I think there was more problems with the Jets than the head coach.
No, there was a lot of problems. That's what I mean, though. But with the Giants, it's the same thing. It would be the head coach. It's the fucking GM. It's a lot with the Giants. The Giants are not a great organization right now. They're not.
No.
So what I'm saying is, because if you fire him in week 5, then you're saying we still have a chance to do something with the season, and you don't. That's what I mean. So if you're Mara, you're looking at it, it's like, let's just fucking write it out. I'll fire him near the end of the season. And then we can start. And maybe that's the thing. You let it run. If it's not bad, because listen, firing them in week 5 isn't good. Because who are you going to get? Your either offensive or defensive coordinator you're going to throw in there? They're not going to do any better.
There's rumors floating around that Bill Belichick might not even make week 1, so he may be out there for a week 5 hire.
He's not. No, let's stop. Although, I mean, that shit keeps getting fucking weird.
It does.
It's not, here's the thing, it's not even
I was
about,
trying to defend him, but yeah.
it's not even about the age difference anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that was always the talking point, was that it was the age difference. The age difference isn't even a talking point anymore. It's like, is Bill okay? Like,
Yeah.
this feels almost like elder abuse. Like, it feels like what, like something's, yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, everybody's like, oh, well, at least he's getting young sex. I don't know. I don't know if that's happening. I don't know if that's happening or if she's just like keeping him locked up in a room somewhere.
It's like Grandma from Happy Gilmore being locked up with.
Yeah, a little bit. You're in my world now, Grandpa.
I can't wait till that Happy Gilmore 2 comes out.
Well, I always don't like sequels, especially that far out, like 30 years out sequels.
Yeah,
never are any good. So, and Adam Sandler movies of the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the track record is a lot like the Giants. Nathaniel in the chat, he says getting the Eagles out of the way, kind of likes that idea. I mean, that would be nice. You know, let's just lose twice early and move on. Nathaniel also says, I'm a Jets fan, and I would boo her, talking about Taylor Swift. By the way, I don't know if the full Jets schedule has been leaked yet or not, but apparently the opening week for the Jets has been leaked. And apparently the Jets will be opening up at home against the Steelers.
That should be a good game.
Justin Fields going up against his old team, against perhaps Aaron Rodgers against his old team. Interesting.
I don't think he's going to sign. I think he's going to.
You don't? What do you think? What do you think Aaron's going to do?
I just think he's going to retire.
You think he's just going to go off into the ayahuasca sunset?
Yeah, he's just liking that ayahuasca so much. I'm just going to have it every day.
Not going to. Well, I don't know if you can do that every day. I don't know if you can do it every day. That's not a. Ayahuasca is not an everyday treat. That's not like, smoking a joint or taking an edible. That's, that's a different animal. That shit. Like when you have to go to Peru because of certain laws won't let you take it. It's like that's a different animal. So I don't know if that's what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
But that might, listen, like you said, he might just start going off being like some kind of fucking guru, spiritual fucking monk or something. He's going to turn into fucking, Kane there from Kung Fu. The legend continues. I don't know, but it feels like he's going to. It's just Aaron being Aaron, and almost at this point, it feels like he's not signing with them because everybody else wants him to, like all the media and fucking. And by the way, it's just been a couple of things. It's just been boiling over for me for a while. And I know I'm just a loser YouTuber who has like 5 people watch my stream and that's it. I get it. So this isn't like anything, like, oh my God, why are you yelling at somebody who's so much more successful than you? It's not because he's more successful. It's not anything like that. I understand that I'm a nobody. He's a somebody, all that stuff. Mike Florio might be the most fucking obnoxious cocksucker I've ever known and seen in my fucking life. I just needed to say that. I fucking hate that man. He is such an asshole. He's such a wannabe intellectual, but is also dumber than a box of fucking rocks. Everything he tweets is borderline retarded. And I'm not saying that in an insulting way, like just using it. I think he might actually be mentally stunted. On top, just everything irritates me about him. And you see him on TV, and you'd like, there's no way somebody can seem that smarmy over Twitter, and like that. You can't be like that in real life. And then you see him talk. And he is it's just there, just covered in smarm. He's just a smarmy fuck. Just dripping in it. Dripping in smarm. Fuck Mike Florio. I just want to put that out there. It has nothing to do with this or anything else.
Yeah.
Fuck Mike Florio. Also, and it makes sense that the person that he broadcasts with all the fucking time and is like his best friend is Chris fucking Sims. Makes the most sense in the world. When you look at it, it's like, of course. Of course it would. Fucking terrible. Okay. So I just want to.
I'll have to go back and look and find the years ago episode.
Oh, what, my
waiting for us
first
on
Chris Sims
YouTube.
rant?
Yeah, dude, that was epic. And just cut it down to that part and repost it like here, like as a short or something like that, so everybody could see where your pro football.
No, my
talk.
Chris Sims hate is not something new. It's not something I've just
Yeah.
invented. It's been there for a while, and
Yeah.
and the Mike Florio hate is now probably surpassed the Chris Sims hate. I just can't stand that
Wow.
fucking. Oh, dude, Mike Florio is just unfucking bearable to fucking do. But also by that point, I have to keep the Twitter feed on because I have to see what he says. It's I know it's gonna piss me off, but I have to do it anyway because it gives me content at least. So
Yeah.
I'll say that. So for that aspect, I'll say thank you, Mike. You know, yeah, commie cocksucker. Anyway. Moving on, because okay, so we got our two teams out here, Giants, Eagles. We touched on some of the other games that we know of, the primetime games, the Christmas games, the opening week games. We've got all that stuff. So we've discussed all that. The full schedule coming out 8 o'clock tonight, of course, with also the schedule release videos. Looking forward most definitely to the San Diego Chargers release video. This will be the third year, and hopefully they again stay with the anime theme. The last 2 years have been fantastic, so definitely looking forward to the Chargers release video. And we'll see if any other NFL teams have decided to step up their game. Knowing the Giants, no. The Giants are boring. The Giants are always going to be fucking boring. It's just who we are. But
There's
we'll.
gonna just be stick figures.
It's just going to be, here's the schedule. Wow. It's like, all right, I get it. I get it. We're the old blue bloods, you know. We're the, you know, everything's got to be uptight and classy. Okay, like I get it, but you know, it's.
Yeah.
I like to have a little bit of fun, guys. Just a little bit, just a teeny little bit of fun. So with all of that, before we get the fuck out of here, I do want to touch. There was a little bit more news came out. I believe it was yesterday.
Yes.
Major League Baseball and their commissioner, Rob Manfred, came out yesterday, and they have come out and they have rescinded the lifetime ban for multiple people. They have rescinded the lifetime ban for Shoeless Joe Jackson, who I want to say died like fucking nearly 80 years ago, probably more.
Yeah.
He's been gone for a while. And in fact, the entire 1919 Chicago White Sox, the Black Sox scandal team, their lifetime ban has been rescinded, as well as Pete Rose and his lifetime ban for gambling on baseball, which was the reason why the Black Sox were banned as well, Shoeless Joe and all them, was because of the gambling accusations, and turned out to be true. And the same with Pete, gambling accusations, and they were true. That was all proven. Everybody still tries to say, well, he didn't bet. He did. We saw the receipts. They're there. Yeah. But all that being said, Pete Rose and, as I said, Shoeless Joe and the 1919 Chicago White Sox all had their lifetime bans rescinded, which means that they are now available and eligible to be put into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Whether or not they will, whether the writers will put them in there or not, we don't know. Jimbo had a couple of thoughts on this, and I wanted to let him kind of just express himself and what he thought on the situation. I will pipe in with my opinion afterwards, maybe even during. We'll see. I'll try not to be obnoxious here. But Jimbo, your thoughts on Rob Manfred doing this, rescinding these lifetime bans?
It just proves that he's a jackass, and that baseball is pretty much dead. You know, like they can't get out of their own way to make make baseball better again.
Mamba.
So when I saw, I think it was on Twitter or Facebook. I think it was Facebook because Phillies released a statement, congratulating Pete Rose for, uh, having the ban rescinded, this and that. And that's when I messaged the group. I didn't know about Shoeless Joe Jackson at that point.
Right.
Um, you take the ban off of Pete Rose close to a year since he passed away. Why couldn't
Much less,
what
only a
in
couple
that?
months.
That's what I was going to say. It's fairly recent he passed away. What changed in those few months that you couldn't do it 5, 10 years ago? I know you want to. I know Rob Manfred want to honor C League's request of don't take that ban off of him. What changed? Now, as far as Shoeless Joe Jackson and the Black Sox, I've always been 50-50 about Shoeless Joe Jackson. The rest of the team, they should be banned because it has been proven with the stats, with the as you would say, the receipts. They threw games. Shoeless Joe Jackson still played good in the playoffs, even though he did gamble. Circling back to Pete Rose, he gambled on his team to win. Yes, he gambled. I understand it's against the rules and everything, but it wasn't like he threw games. He said, I didn't put money on my team because I know we're that good. You look at the NFL, NBA refs bet on games. I can't remember any lifetime bans for any of them. So what in the past few months changed for Pete Rose? The Pete Rose one is really that pissed me off the most. But what in the past few months changed that you said, I think this is good for baseball to take off the ban now? If I'm Pete Rose's family and he is able to be, inducted into the Hall of Fame, that they vote him in, I'd walk up to their office and throw the middle finger, like,
A lot of people have said that. They said that if they were Pete Rose's family, they would decline any honor of
Yeah.
being into the Hall of Fame. So my question to you would be this: so where do you fall on? Do you think Pete Rose should have been reinstated, or do you feel like if it's a lifetime ban, it's a lifetime ban, not for the person, but for the game of the lifetime of baseball? You should be like, is it? Do you feel like he should still be banned, or do you feel like he should have been rescinded, but it should have been while he was alive?
Well, I'll answer it two ways. Um, if you're banned for life, that should be post career, goes into post career, okay, after you retire. But I remember a few years back that Pete Rose and Manfred had a sit down about this situation, and Rose came out and said, "Yes, I did bet on baseball. I did
I
bet on my
remember that. Yeah,
teams."
yeah,
But the agreement was Manfred said, if you go public and say I did it, I'll rescind the ban.
yeah. But who do we have that from? Is that what Pete said?
It was Pete, and it was like CBS News reporter Pete's
But if
quotes.
that's what Pete said, then we're relying on Pete saying, "Well, they told me if I came out and said it that they would reinstate me." But we don't know if that's what was said or whether that.
So why would Pete do it then after all these years?
I don't know. I don't know what
You
was
know?
officially agreed to. I don't know what was officially said. This is first number one way you get everything in writing.
Yeah.
My feeling on this is, if I could jump in here real quick,
Good.
I feel like again you can make the argument many ways here. Pete as a player, there was nobody who played the game. I mean, the guy was called Charlie Hustle for a reason. He didn't play the game half-assed, never did. Ruined some guy's career in an All-Star game because he wanted to run him over. So I mean, listen, Pete Rose was an asshole too. Let's not forget this. Pete Rose was a dick. Pete Rose was an absolute asshole. He was a dick. He was a son of a bitch. So let's not forget any of that.
Yeah.
That being said, it feels like somebody with his accomplishments should be in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the top 5 Major League Baseball players that have ever played the game. And you can make arguments, this, that, or the other thing. In my mind, I think he's probably one of the top 5 Major League Baseball players of all time. You maybe top 10 if you want to start like arguing certain or put up other people in there, whatever. But Pete Rose is one of, in my mind, probably one of the top 5 Major League Baseball players of all time. But baseball had no more sacred rule than the no gambling rule because of the 1919 Black Sox. That, and when you had Kennesaw Mountain Landis as the commissioner, when he started fucking putting a hammer down, and that was the reason why, is like this is, listen, everything else we'll look at punishments here, punishments there. You might be, banned for a year. You might do this, that, fines, whatever. But gambling on the game, you will be banned for life, for the afterlife, from here until kingdom come. You are banned from baseball.
Yeah.
And that was their standing rule. Now Pete broke the rule. Whether you say he bet on, well, he bet for his team. He didn't ever bet against them, but he bet on baseball while being a manager, while being part of the game. And that's the issue too. Like, we're talking about, he bet on the game at a time where, like, and it's not like today where, you can do sports books everywhere like that, which you still can't do it if you play in the fucking leagues anyway. Yeah. But it was, he still had to go to fucking bookies. He was betting illegally, which was illegal everywhere. He was still doing that. So you look at it from that in its whole totality. It's like, I understand the want and the need to put somebody like that in the Hall of Fame, to have him recognized. Understand it. I get it. But he broke the cardinal rule of baseball. Do not gamble on the game. Don't do it. And that's what I mean. And I know people have been arguing for Shoeless Joe forever too, saying that he should be like a lifetime ban should be that, a lifetime ban. And once your life is over, then you should be eligible to go in. And people have been arguing that for Shoeless Joe for forever. But the precedent was set there with the Black Sox, with Shoeless Joe, with those guys, that lifetime ban didn't just mean your lifetime. It meant until the sun explodes, you are banned from baseball. So, to me, Manfred doing this weakens Major League Baseball. It weakens the commissioner's office. It weakens a sport that already seems to be crumbling. And, like, at this point, it had been answered so many times from so many people. No, he's not getting in. To both him and Shoeless Joe. No, they're not getting in. Answer is done. And when people keep asking at it, you say, this question has been settled. Move on. That's all you needed to do. By doing this, he has opened a gigantic, because now you have everybody coming out saying, well, now Bonds should be in and Clemens should be in. You got to push up. And to me, I honestly think what they did is probably more egregious, because what they did was actually cheating.
Yeah.
With taking the roids and doing that shit, what they did was actually cheating. So they definitely should never be in. And if anybody should have a lifetime ban, it is Roger Clemens. It is Barry Bonds. It is those who took steroids. And we've already seen a couple guys with steroids get into the Hall of Fame already. I'm like, if you took steroids, you should not be in the Hall of Fame. But my feeling is once it's there, once the question has been settled, and now especially once they're dead, like I said, the precedence was set with Shoeless Joe. He died and he still didn't get reinstated. That precedent's been set. Pete Rose died. Sorry, yeah. Lifetime means lifetime of the game, not the lifetime of the person. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Question's been answered. You don't get in. So I know some people are looking at this as almost disrespectful. On the part of Major League Baseball towards Pete Rose, especially since he just died a couple months ago. But I don't. I fall on the side of, I think they should still be banned. I still think that all this did was open a can of worms. All Rob Manfred has ever done is bad for baseball, except the pitch clock. Pitch clock's been good.
Yeah,
that's the one thing. He's done one fucking thing.
In 15 years or however long he's been.
Since Selig left, he's done one thing, the pitch clock. Outside of that, everything he's done has been disastrous for the game of baseball.
It sounds like me and you agree on one thing, is whatever way you fall on this decision, we all agree that Manfred messed this whole
Manfred,
situation.
yeah, it's a he thought he was going to come out and reinstate Rose and Shoeless Joe and be like, they're going to love me. They're going to say, finally, he did it. What? Oh, we're so happy. And boy, didn't get the reaction you thought you were going to get, huh, Robbie?
Yeah.
That didn't happen. By the way, just a quick comment here in the chat from Uncle Elroy. He says, Dallas is going to whoop that Eagle tail. So, I don't know about that.
We'll see. All we got to do is just get the Sun to face Pickens' face and have him drop a ball, and he'll go fight the Sun.
I understand what you were trying to say, but it just... I don't know. We'll see. Oh, dude, what? Can you imagine Dallas beat you at home to open the season? You guys have your banner raising, all this kind of shit, and Dallas beat you at home. You lose the opening game to the Cowboys?
There is about a 15% of me that is worried because as soon as this got announced, all the stats started coming out. The Super Bowl winning team week 1 is 25-5 since
right, since they started doing that, right.
So I'm a little worried, but the last time Philly and Dallas did open up the season together or open the season up in general,
right,
was the pickle juice game. So Andy Reid was there, so 2002 I believe they said it was. So it's been that long.
Pickle juice game. I don't remember that.
Yeah, so before pickle juice, it was Gatorade and.
Well, no, I know. Pickle juice has it's got the salt and stuff in it, so it's good so you don't get dehydrated, right?
Yeah, it was like 120 on the field at
Veterans
Stadium.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that was back at Texas Stadium. Yeah, they didn't have air conditioning or anything there or ventilation. Apparently around the edges of the field on the turf there, like fucking mushrooms grew in that place.
Oh, really?
At the old stadium in Irving down there at Texas Stadium. Yeah, it was because it was always just humid and there was never any air circulation. Because when they first built it, like it did have like on the sides of where the half dome was, they did have open slots where the air could come in. But then they built seats over that.
Oh.
They increased the seating. So then the only opening in the stadium was the fucking hole in the roof.
Wow.
But that didn't provide any, like air couldn't get in. It just went over the dome. So heat would come in and the humidity and the rain or whatever would come in, but it couldn't get out. Like there was no air circulation. So like the turf, like they said, especially around the edges, be covered in fucking mushrooms and shit.
Well, you know what Michael Irvin and Leon Lett were trying to do as a secondary option.
You're talking about the psychedelics. You're talking about the drugs. Jimbo. We're gonna get. I was gonna say your final thoughts, but you kind of gave them already there. With
I do have one last comment.
Okay, so before we get out of here, one last comment, Jimbo. There you go. I just had to introduce it
quick.
right. Yeah,
just real quick. So in the comment section after the show or right now, I would like you guys to post who your NFL favorite team is and what food would you associate your NFL team with. I got an idea kind of cooking up, so I need a little help maybe, but that's all I gotta say.
What is it? Is it big? If
If
Jalen Hurts turns over a ball to an NFL team, are you gonna like eat their food or something? Is that what we're gonna do this year?
Maybe I'll do that.
Oh,
I don't know.
They'll be sucking down a lot of fucking bratwurst when they play the Packers, I guess. I don't know.
Cheese curds or whatever they call them.
Yeah, but you know what? That's a good way to say it. If you watch the entire video through, you can let it known in the chat or comments. For the people in the chat, they could do that. But if you're watching this after the live, if you're just watching us on here, if you've watched all the way through the video, in the comments, let us know what food do you associate with the various NFL teams. I don't know what I would associate with the Giants. The steaming pile of shit sandwich, maybe? I don't know. Or probably a dirty water dog.
I was gonna say maybe like seaweed or whatever.
A good sabrets. Got a nice sabrets with a little chili and cheese on it. Let's fucking go. That's good shit. But yes, thank you so much for joining us here at Stay Tuned Sports. If you liked anything that you watched today, and why the fuck would you? I have no idea. But if you did, hit that like button, helps us out. Hit the share button so we get more people to look at us, and to hit that like button, that would be even better. And then, of course, if you're watching us and are not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. Get us to that 500. If we can get to 500, we can start being monetized. We start getting monetized, I can be a YouTube loser and not a regular loser, and actually have a job. Because, guys, I don't know if you know this. I've said this a couple times on here, but I don't know if you know this. I'm unemployed. Like, this is what I do. I'm trying to make a living doing this because I've got nothing else. I got no other skills. I'm not smart. I don't have a degree. You know. I was in radio 10 years ago, but that's long. That career is long since gone. So you can help this loser be a slightly less loser, but he'd be a YouTube loser, which is fine. But help us get to that 500 mark. And of course, if you want to help us out at all monetarily, we have a link for our donation station and our merch store in the description below this video. So with that being said, let's get the fuck out of here. My name is King. That's your good friend Jimbo right over there. This has been Stay Tuned Sports. We will see you later, everybody. Enjoy all the schedule releases.